What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Dark Side Podcast. I am David Viano.
I'm Matt Elias.
And today, widespread panic in Pittsburgh from a local fentanyl-related death.
3 people dead, 4 hospitalized. It happened over the weekend. There's a
Sunday morning.
Facebook repeatedly shared Facebook panic over this.
Very heavily.
Yeah, we wanted to cover this because it's really spreading like fire on Facebook. A bunch of
and for the wrong reasons.
Untrue panic. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll get into that too.
Yeah, so why don't we just lay out the facts of what happened, and then we'll get into the Facebook side of it.
Sounds good. This article that I'm reading is brought to you by CBS Pittsburgh, KDKA for all you locals. Police say 3 people have died and 4 others are hospitalized after an incident on Pittsburgh's South Side. Public Safety Director Wendell Hisrich says 3 are dead and 4 are hospitalized. Just before 7:30 a.m. Sunday, police said they were responding to the medical situation. According to the Public Safety Director, 5 were found in a Southside Works City apartments and 1 in an elevator. The 7th victim was found at the corner of 26th Street and East Carson Street. The deceased were 32. Should I read the names?
No.
Okay. Well, the deceased were 2 32-year-olds and a 38-year-old. It looks like 2 male, 1 female. Is from what I'm understanding from these names. All the victims were wearing orange paper wristbands. The police said they were aware of 2 Pittsburgh venues that used orange wristbands Saturday night. After further investigation, it was determined that an event with orange wristbands was not related to the deaths and injuries.
Right.
They believe this was an isolated drug overdose event, not a widespread situation. Police say they want to stress that it isn't a case of drugs being passed around at a large venue in a way that could have affected other people. However, they say they are concerned about a, quote, tainted potential deadly batch of drugs, unquote. Police, quote, but that doesn't mean that there isn't some bad drugs going around elsewhere, unquote. I mean, it's Pittsburgh. Of course there are. We have nothing to put us in that direction right now. As what the police commander Jason Lando is saying, 3 of the victims were upgraded to stable condition and 1 is in critical condition. It says appears like all the victims will survive besides the ones that are already dead.
Right.
Police said that the victims took drugs at a different place, not a venue that would have had an orange band. The city club's apartment manager issued a statement saying that the individuals involved weren't residents at the building.
So they arrested a guy. Let's see here. I'm not going to say people's names on here just because I just don't see a point in it.
Right.
So they arrested a guy from California. They arrested him in McKees Rocks. Federal law enforcement officials announced so. Apparently this is a federal case.
Interesting.
Or it might be.
Yeah.
Okay, so they charged this individual with possession and intent to distribute and distribution of a controlled substance causing death and serious bodily injury.
Okay.
So this is a 25-year-old man from California, and it says this article gets into a little bit of the details of what happened, the circumstances, which is why I'm reading it. It says the overdoses occurred after this individual distributed narcotics at the apartment. It says that they left Insomnia Discotheque in Brookline with several people, including members of the band that played there, for an after party. So they went to this apartment, and it says that supposedly, according to a complaint that somebody filed with the police, during this after party, the California man produced large quantity of powdered narcotics from a box. He then cut into the narcotics and scooped out a quantity of what the users believed was cocaine. So they did think it was cocaine. He then started going around the room with a knife, allowing individuals to sniff the white powder from it. Surviving users said that after they did a bump of suspected cocaine, people immediately began to drop and suffer adverse effects, kind of like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
It says that the medical examiner's office determined the presence of fentanyl in this supposedly cocaine.
Yeah.
One guy was found dead outside the elevator. Then 5 victims inside the apartment. 2 were dead. 3 were suffering, overdose.
Right.
And one was found somewhere else, 26th and Carson. So I'm guessing that means he was just laying on the sidewalk, right?
He didn't make it that far then if he
Just
was
outside.
26th and Carson. Yeah, he was maybe a block or two away from where they were at originally.
So again, 3 of these people actually died from this, and then the other 4 they say are going to make it.
Right.
So that's
so
what
now
happened.
that we have all the factual information.
Yeah, let's get into the Facebook.
Yeah.
Let's just lay out what the post actually says. So there's a Facebook post that's been getting spread around like crazy.
Yeah.
You can judge for yourself.
Well, I kind of want to go into a little bit before we get into this post and everything, because I was following this story because I was up and like at work whenever this was all going on.
Mm.
So I was reading it like firsthand, like right when it was happening and shit.
Okay.
So I'm a member of that Facebook group, Southside Secrets. Whatever, I don't know if you're familiar with it. It has like a few thousand members, like probably like 5 or plus thousand, and it's like literally just a bunch of people like posting about stuff that's going on in Southside, right? So that story became very popular like immediately. Someone posted it like really early in the morning, then someone had commented on it saying that it was a fentanyl party, and a cop from Ohio had told them that they have become a very popular thing. And what
fentanyl parties.
Yeah, and what a fentanyl party is a group of people getting together.
What a fentanyl party supposedly is.
Yeah, they're not real, obviously.
Right.
But you get a group of people in a room. You all like shoot up or do fentanyl. Shoot up or snort, not like do. Should have said that. And then someone is there with enough Narcan to revive you once you OD. That's what people who
when they
have
say
no
fentanyl
idea,
party, that's what they mean.
Yeah.
Right. Ridiculous. So just read the post and then we can.
And yeah, so like literally someone said that in the morning, like in that comment, and I was immediately like, dude, there's no one's gonna believe that and everything. Then all of a sudden, like that became the main fucking story for this whole thing, like out of nowhere. And then this post was going around on Facebook. It has almost 5,000 shares, and I love when I love when a Facebook repost is literally a screenshot of a status that it was a screenshot of a repost, basically.
It's all burned. I can see it.
It
looks. It's been screenshotted a bunch of times.
And it was a status that says supposedly people had a fentanyl party here in Pittsburgh last night where multiple people purposefully OD on fentanyl/heroin, and then someone was supposed to stab them with a Narcan pen so they could experience death for a brief period. But the reviver decided to shoot up to, and now a shit ton of people are dead. What in the living hell?
5,000 shares?
5,000 shares.
Yeah, that's just...
And then like the person who shared like was like the main thing of it, his little rebuttal on it was the multiple deaths at that Pittsburgh apartment building resulted from a fentanyl party that the reviver, in parentheses, the one who administers the Narcan, well, thank you for clarifying that, decided to join the party and shoot up some dope. Listen, folks, this is clearly a choice. You do that dance with the devil when you're going to lose. Sorry,
there
zero
it is.
fucks given.
There it is. Right.
There it is.
The narrative.
And literally the top comment is that's not what happened. And then someone
links
into the story.
Right, but no one's going to click on that. So.
Yeah.
Right.
They just believe what they want to hear on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. And I thought it was very important for us to lay out the facts of what happened before we dig into that, right?
Yeah.
So now you see.
Now we know what's really going on. If you had half a brain,
they
really
don't.
know.
We don't even have to do that whole thing because they don't. We know they don't.
Well,
we
no,
live
but
but it's, people are just will believe anything. It's like it's not. People believe things that support opinions and ideas that they already have.
Right.
Which is the whole drug addicts are weak-willed people who choose to be bad people, and there's just so many ways. Like, I'm a fucking former opioid addict, right?
Yeah.
I intentionally sought out fentanyl. Now, this was years and years ago,
right?
It's not like pill presses and things like it was before. We used to abuse the patches. Like they used to make these jelly patches that you could extract the gel out of it and you could inject it, and that's what we did. But anyway, like. The whole idea, there's just so many so many things about this that make no goddamn sense. Like,
there are multiple
a fentanyl
things
party
here.
intentionally overdosing. Is so absurd. I have never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, that's not what people do that for. Like,
overdosing is not fun. And first of all, being Narcan is the worst fucking thing ever.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Yeah, and that's what the thing that got me too, because I was like, okay, if like you really know anything about like drugs or like what this shit happens, is like when you get Narcan, most of the time it brings people back and they're sober. Like it kind of sobers them up, and
sober
you're going through withdrawals.
Sick. You feel
like you're immediately going through withdrawals.
It's not fun. It's not something that people are going to do intentionally.
Exactly.
Secondly, the whole idea, and I see what they're doing, because you have that whole idea out there. There are people who are against Narcan being available because they use it to just spread that, like, oh, people should have to pay the consequences for their decisions or whatever.
Right.
And why do I have to pay for Narcan? First of all, you don't.
Yeah.
But it's just another one of those things. It's just like an issue to collect people together and get them pissed off.
Yeah. It's like the same thing
against,
you hear, like
handouts or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I think this thing here, it just is a demonstration of how successful those arguments are.
No, yeah, and it's like people saying, like, you know, like why they're like, when you hear about people getting Narcan like multiple times in like a few day period or like 1 or 2 day periods, they're like, oh, why should we let them do that? It's like because obviously you don't know how Narcan works. Like that's probably the one thing that like probably people are very ignorant.
They're also assuming that it's like they lump it in with like, I don't want people to get welfare. I don't want drug addicts to get any public support or whatever from my taxes, which again, they're believing from there, you're believing that welfare is a significant portion of the taxes that you pay, which it isn't.
Right.
But that's kind of where this is. But it's like an easy slam dunk point to make, and people attached to it. 5,000 shares on that.
Yeah,
a fentanyl party. Yeah, intentional overdose.
Yeah, and like I had talked to multiple people who heard that was like the thing, and that's what they were going with. I was like, no, that's
this is
not
like some
what
reefer
happened.
Madness shit. Like it's drug panic.
No, like literally. And I even said, I was like, guys, literally, like it's either two situations. One, they all took presses of something that they thought was one pill, but it was another. But then I was like,
which definitely happens a lot.
Yeah, a lot of the times. Yeah, and that was like, and then I was like, well, it was more of a social situation. You know, you had this group of people in there. Most of them were found in the room, like past, like knocked the fuck out on their own. One was found in a different location. The other one was found in a completely different location. I was like, obviously this sounds like coke that had fentanyl in it. It's a rare thing that it happens, but I mean, it still happens. Like a lot, it does happen.
Right.
And lo and behold, when you use thought and logic, you're right most
Plus
of the time.
A little bit of just
knowledge
like,
about this shit. Because I mean, it's like
street knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but just you don't have to be like a former drug addict or like a weed head or just like, you don't have to be versed in like street drug knowledge to like use common sense to put together that a fentanyl party is not a real thing. Right. Okay. I mean, it's just
for one,
ridiculous.
That would be the most boring party I have ever went to in my life. There would be not even music on or anything. It's literally just a group of people sleeping.
Yeah. It's like, it would be like in the movies when you see people, like old-timey movies where they have guys go to opium dens and everybody's just laying on their side.
Yeah.
Does that look like fun?
In all honesty, I mean, like,
it's not a party. It's not fun. It's not like a party.
But opium dens weren't supposed to be.
These people thought
like
they were doing
parties.
a little bit of coke at an after party from a concert.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Now that's a party.
That's a party.
It was a party. Like you throw some coke on the table, after party after a concert, 2 or 3 a.m. That's a party. That sounds like a fun party.
Some rando dude from out of state walking around just offering you a bump of coke off a knife.
See, that part's a little weird. That's the red flag. You know, that's where I'm throwing the flag into the play right there. Yeah. Because I wouldn't be trusting a dude with fucking I wouldn't be trusting this random dude giving out free bumps off a knife.
Yeah. No, we don't know.
Just my call.
We don't know if it was a random dude. Maybe someone there knew him. Maybe it was somebody's cousin. I don't know.
Yeah, we never know. And the people in the they weren't even any of those people in the apartment building weren't even like apartment owners and stuff. It was one of their friends letting them use the apartment that night. I guess he just wasn't there. So I mean, it's a whole weird situation.
Think about that. You let your buddy use your apartment, and then
come
this
back
shit
home.
happens.
It's a crime scene.
There's five people ODing on the floor, and one guy on the sidewalk hanging out of the elevator. Jesus,
it's like, oh man, it smells weird in here now.
Oh, that's so wrong. But yeah, man, I feel bad. I feel bad for the people that didn't make it.
That's a
and people that
shitty
overdosed.
situation.
That's
man.
horrible.
Like, when you're expecting to do coke,
these
and then
aren't
all
even
of this,
like they probably aren't even. These aren't drug addicts we're talking about. These are probably just normal ass people.
Yeah, that's
who were
what
at a
I'm
concert,
saying.
You know?
Like this wasn't like. This was people who got fucked over and they were
Big
in a
time.
really shitty situation.
They were basically poisoned.
Yeah,
you know?
no, like literally, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like when you're expecting to do coke, you're not expecting to just pass out like 2 minutes after.
They said it was almost
yeah.
immediately.
Yeah. So
Just
there
like
had
in
to have
Pulp
been a
Fiction.
good fucking.
It's basically the same thing because she thought she was doing coke in the movie. Remember?
Yeah.
She pulled it out of his jacket, but it was like
that's kind of her fault though, too. At the same time, because you just don't do random shit you find in someone's
but I'm just
jacket.
saying she thought she was doing coke, and it turned out to be like
really
wicked
pure heroin.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. But there
Unreal.
had to have been a decent amount of like fentanyl in that,
Right,
for
to
it
just fall out immediately from just sniffing something. I mean, fentanyl's crazy potent. That's the deal.
insanely potent.
Supposedly 1,000 times more potent than morphine. I heard that a while ago. I don't know how accurate it is, but
Yeah, they use it as
Insane.
like an anesthesia in some like surgical procedures and
Yeah.
shit. Now, crazy,
right.
crazy.
I can't even believe that. Let me put it this way: the whole fentanyl party Facebook status shit. Like, think about the 3 people that didn't make it, and the one, and the ones that did too.
Yeah.
All 7 of them. The fentanyl party thing makes it seem like it's their own fault, and like they're these drug addict shitheads or whatever, and they deserve what they get. And the guy's like 0 fucks given, whoever that guy is.
Yeah,
And
I'm not gonna
who
say
knows
his
if he even means it. He could just be pushing that narrative cynically, or he could just be. I mean, people who that's the craziest thing about that kind of thinking. Like, you can kind of see how there could be like an agenda underneath of it to like just spread that idea. Anti-handout thinking on a broad level. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah,
This guy may not even intend to spread that. It's just one of those things that spreads itself.
no, yeah,
People who don't even really get it or understand will be like, it's just one of those, like I said earlier, it was like a slam dunk point. Like, there are, and I think that like a lot of politicians are smart about this with the stuff that, like, the issues that they pick and choose to support, because it's like there are certain things that a lot of people will enjoy making the point. Like, it's like fun. You know how people enjoy saying like if you hear a news story, and this is like unrelated, but maybe you'll see the connection I'm trying to make. I don't know.
Yeah.
But whenever you see one of those self-defense, I remember we talked about the gun thing a few weeks ago, and you see someone kill someone in self-defense, like someone burglarizes their home and they shoot them and kill them.
Yeah.
If you're talking about that with people, and then someone says, this is another one of those slam dunk points that some people like to make. Oh man, if someone broke into my house, I don't give a shit. I'm going to shoot him.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like one of those things where a certain type of person has a good time making that point. It's like they enjoy it.
Yeah.
And this is another one of those things.
No,
like,
it is.
I don't care. You want to make that decision? I don't want to pay for it. Or you shouldn't have to get Narcan, have these parties. Like, they just create this fake thing they set up this straw man thing that doesn't exist to just have fun, like yeeting it.
No, yeah, literally.
It's nuts.
And it's a fake fucking story. Like,
They're completely fake.
Yeah, you're driving your.
And this guy it looks like he just pulled it right out of his ass, although he probably heard it from someone else.
That's literally what happened, though, because this whole rumor started on social media that a fentanyl party is a real thing.
I mean, it's like the fentanyl party is the same thing as the Tide Pods panic.
Yeah.
Like something that no one actually does, and then it gets picked up. It spreads around on social media, and then
it's like 10 people do it, and
some
then all
dumbass
of a sudden,
Karen mom takes it seriously, and then it spreads.
Yeah.
It's like and then you got people like my brother actually taking videos. Did you see that one
where he literally did detergent, and I was like, oh man,
it wasn't a pod though. It was like one of the giant jugs with like a spigot on it. He's like, oh, it's so good.
I was like, and I even told him, I was like, you went through all of that just to send that to like a group of people, basically.
Yeah, right.
Like,
it was for a group. He posted it. It got deleted.
Yeah. Yeah.
like I think Instagram took it down.
I was like, so
because they think like no kid is looking at that and seriously. Like, I'm gonna eat Tide Pod. Like the whole thing was a joke. I don't know. Maybe there was one or two dummies.
Snorting condoms was another one.
The challenges. The condom challenge where you snort a condom up your nose and like pull it all the way through.
But I mean, fuck, dude, we've been doing. I remember like as kids, there was the one challenge where you had to like put salt and then an ice cube on your like hand, and it like made a burn in your like. There's been challenges like that all fucking throughout like all of like years in history.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I don't know.
Or like the panic about kids, the new thing that they're getting high off of. There's always one of those like, oh no, kids are getting high, and same thing with the in a different sort of way, but I think it's related. Like the panic. Remember we're talking about the vape cartridges and all that. People, hearing these news stories about lung problems and people having like a health disaster by doing these like black market like super shady THC cartridges.
Yeah,
that aren't
that's
even
not the
that are
narrative
counterfeit.
That's getting thrown.
They take that and then use that to just turn it into a panic about all vaping. Period. Mm-hmm. Same kind of thing.
Yeah, and now it's like I think Michigan banned vaping. I'm pretty sure
all vaping.
Yeah,
even just regular vape juice.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure they
banned it. And like how? Banned it.
You're not allowed to sell the products there or anything like that. I'm pretty sure now.
You can't sell anything to do with it.
The juice.
Can you still do it in public and stuff?
That I don't really know. I just know you're not able to buy that shit anymore in Michigan or something like that. So I mean
that's going to make it even harder to. I mean, we know this lesson already from other things when it's illegal.
Yeah.
It's going to make it even harder to know what's legit and what's counterfeit.
Yeah.
Because you have no legitimate source to buy from.
Exactly.
So you just got to trust the guy.
Right.
You know, it's back in the day when you were buying weed, when everything was illegal, like we were talking about before, it's just like, a guy or two and you just got to take their word for it. Because if you want to buy weed, this is it.
It's like, let's eat it.
It could be Tide Pods in there and you don't know.
Hopefully. That's that good.
Be lucky. But
that good shit.
Fentanyl party.
It's just I just still can't believe that like this is a subject we even have to talk about and stuff, like a fentanyl party.
Oh, I can.
Like people were dumb enough to believe that.
They are. And dumber. This is the world we live in, man.
This is the war on drugs.
This kind of crap is part of like what sort of birthed this whole dark side concept anyway.
Yeah,
really. Know? Because it's just I don't know.
They memed a news story basically, and we're memeing them, memeing a news story.
I mean, all this stuff I think is just like it's a bigger scale version of stuff that always happened. Like rumors would spread through school or the kids in the neighborhood. Like you'd believe that some kid burned his hand off with. You just hear some crazy
you
story.
Believe Marilyn Manson like removed one of his ribs to suck his dick. It's like that whole thing too.
I think we were talking about. So we were discussing some of the stories that we did in our very early episodes of the show, and it occurs to me that we did like a whole segment about Marilyn Manson having his ribs removed to be able to suck his own dick.
Yeah,
like that right there. That's a great example of this. Except now there is a medium for any type of story, even like much less intriguing ones than Marilyn Manson.
Oh yeah,
to just be
100%.
spread like that. It's like the urban legend kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
social media and the internet allows it to happen.
Oh yeah, easily, because I don't know. People think that they can get their information from social media, and it's just like it's 100% true.
It's not entirely their fault.
No, we've all fallen victim to it. I mean, definitely,
sure.
But it's you gotta just know. You gotta like weed through that shit and to find the good ones.
And we've tried to. There was a while I feel like where we were harping on this kind of thing pretty heavy, but it's like it's not that hard to weed out. Like
really
we demonstrated it just right now on this episode with the whole fentanyl thing.
Yeah.
How like someone linked the news story right in there.
Yeah.
And you can look at that news story. You gotta look at the source though.
You gotta click on it. You actually have to click on it.
You have to click on it and you have to make sure it's not like, libertyfreedomnews.net or whatever.
Conservativeesquire.com.
Just some bullshit website. This is a local news site. You know what I mean? We recognize it was WTAE.
CBS, KDKA.
It's not that hard. If but people they aren't looking for information. They're just looking for...
They're looking for things to bitch about, basically.
To bitch about or to just... I don't know what it is. What do people want? What do you think
they
people want
to feel
Dave?
better about themselves any way possible, so they have to mock other people that they feel are less worthy of them for some odd reason.
That's
So
part
that
of
it
it.
makes them
I think
feel
that's
better about
one
themselves.
motivation.
Some
I think
people,
there are different
yeah.
people have different angles and different reasons.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them are selfish reasons.
Right.
Some people want to feel like they're a better person.
Right.
Like the whole when the internet when Twitter flips out because someone said something, I don't know, like they called something gay or something on Twitter 25 years ago.
That
There was no Twitter then. And then everybody flips out. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you call that, virtue signaling? Where it's like, I condemn this, so I am better than this.
Right.
And anyone who doesn't condemn this, you're down here.
But then it's like too, like, and then you have to think like, am I really better than this? Because I just ruined someone's life a little bit. So it's like,
But they don't care. That's why it's a selfish motivation.
Yeah. I thought about that this morning because I don't know. Like, did you hear about the thing with the dude from SNL? He had gotten like high. Like there was like a couple new hires on SNL, and like I think the dude's name is Shane Gillis or something.
Yeah, I think we did talk about this.
He has a podcast, and like they were making like Asian jokes and stuff. And like, granted, they weren't like in good taste and everything. They were just kind of
bad jokes.
I think he said like
I think that has a lot to do
I'm
with it.
just saying what he said. He said like chinks. He used that word and stuff
Right.
too. I said it, but I didn't mean it.
Right.
But like, you have to know what he said. But yeah, he just kind of like made that and like a few other jokes and everything, and a lot of people got upset that he made it
Like
on
Twitter?
SNL.
Did people flip
it
out
happened
on
from
Twitter?
and like just started spiraling out of
where
control.
it is a lot
and,
of the time.
And SNL ended up firing him from it. And it's
like the guy any less good at the job they hired him to do?
and
because
that's
of
what
that?
I said too. I was like, God,
Although
I get.
Good.
Now, I get like making like, you know, jokes like that and shit are offensive to some people and everything. And I
mean, that's
get,
like a
you can
racial slur,
right?
you know?
I mean, you could make jokes.
Depends on
without,
the context.
right?
Because someone could take a soundbite of you just describing that and take like 2 seconds of it. And then 5 years from now, there's no context. They just see us on, you know.
And I just said, CH.
The CH word.
Yeah.
Basically,
And-
you said a racial slur that with no context and it make you look like a complete asshole.
Right.
You know, so, and especially people who do a podcast, there is dozens and dozens and dozens of hours of us just talking.
Right.
So,
You can
and
clip some stuff together.
Anybody who has a podcast, you could find something that would make Twitter flip out about.
Right.
Almost guaranteed.
Right. So I mean, like, and I don't think the dude should have lost his job for this, and he even apologized.
But that's
and stuff
Saturday
for
Night
it.
Live's choice, of course. They can do whatever they
yeah,
want.
and they're like, and I mean, like, the thing about this too, I mean, like, SNL has made some very like back in their early days and stuff. Some of the material that they would make and shit, it was kind of
racist.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Apparently, there's been an update on the Tekashi 6ix9ine legal situation.
Yeah.
If you remember,
Big
long
updates.
time ago, we did cover when Tekashi 6ix9ine, who is a, what do you call him, a mumble rapper?
Nah, he's not mumble rap.
Okay.
He's like just a new age of rap, basically.
Just a crappy rapper of some kind.
crapper.
He's bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he got in some legal trouble. I don't even remember what the charges were or whatever. I think some drug shit.
Like, it's like racketeering, like all gang related shit,
Gang
basically.
stuff,
Yeah.
Pretty serious.
Yeah.
He was looking at serious prison time.
I think 47 years was his max sentence that he could get.
Yeah, he's looking at being like 50, 60 some years old when he gets out.
Yeah. That 6ix9ine tattoo will be sagging by the time he was out.
It'll be like his actual age by the time he gets out.
Yeah, literally.
Of prison.
That'd be funny.
So there's been if you look at memes, which if you're listening to us, I'm sure your life is probably inundated with memes, but there's been a lot of really, really choice 6ix9ine because he's been apparently testifying against people and snitching
hard.
I mean, he's looking at 47 years in prison. I mean,
Yeah, but if you're a gang member,
well, he apparently
it's
wasn't
a
a very
big no-no.
committed gang member.
Well, no, and I'll get into that and everything. Why?
Okay,
So,
well,
I mean, yeah.
Dave's up on the situation. So there's been a ton of memes, you know, like him snitching on. I saw one that said, like, just for example, and this was a tweet, so it lends itself better to me explaining it. You
Yeah.
know? Like, you know, when someone tells you a meme, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
wasn't that funny? It was a tweet, and it said, Tekashi 6ix9ine would have told the Nazis that Anne Frank was in the attic. She's up there.
I think the best one I saw was like, you know how in Harry Potter there was the golden snitch that you have to like,
Yeah.
and at the end of the first when he first catches it, like it's the first clip of his like just Harry like looking down at his hand, and it's just like a picture of like his hands and Tekashi 6ix9ine's face with the golden snitch wings on the side of it. That one's been my favorite.
I haven't
so
seen
far.
that.
Oh, it's good.
I'd like to just start a collection of them because they're so great.
There's the other one with Bill Cosby like massaging his hair in like in a prison cell and stuff. That one was pretty funny too. I laughed at that one.
Yikes. But anyway, so go ahead and catch us up on some of the details. He's apparently been snitching on people and
So
stuff.
we all knew that he was going to be snitching, like from his court documents that came out publicly. Like everyone know he was working with the feds, like immediately. And we found out through this trial that he literally started working with them the day after he got busted. So there was no like fighting him for this. It was just like, okay, yeah, whatever, I'll do it. So a lot of information has come out basically that he was in fact in like the 9 Trey Bloods, like that was his like set and everything, but he wasn't in it. Like he was never initiated.
New York, right?
Yeah. He was never initiated into the gang like how normal people are when you're in a gang. He just like
lived there.
Yeah, he was only basically in it because he was funding them. Like he was giving them a shit ton of money, and therefore he was becoming popular. Like because he used them in their music videos and stuff and everything, and it worked. Like he blew up very heavily from those music videos.
Right.
So
because it gave him like credibility.
Yeah.
By having them.
Exactly.
Pretty smart move.
Exactly. Yeah. Not so smart.
Turned out not to be so smart. Yeah.
So we're now finding out all that. He's throwing a bunch of people underneath the bus and stuff, man. Like, we're finding out a bunch of new stuff that like we didn't really know. Like he had a beef with the one rapper Trippie Redd, and I forget how like, they released audio from the court from when this was happening, and it was like, and a journalist who was in the courtroom was live tweeting like everything that was going on as well. So we had all this information, and they talked about like who this one song was about and everything, and he said like it was Trippie Redd, and he also included that Trippie Redd was a member of another like blood gang that was like rivals with his or whatever. So he threw him under the bus with gang affiliation. He said Jim Jones who is a well-known rapper and everything, is a part of 9 Trey Bloods. He threw Cardi B's name into the mix, that she was in the 9 Trey Bloods.
I thought that was a joke.
No, like it was like he really said that in court and everything.
So he snitched on Cardi B.
Yeah, but she is further. I think the last I read, she further came back and admitted that she's a blood, but not in that like not in the 9 Treys or anything. Like she has no affiliation with them.
So is he just
basically
making things up?
They don't really know. I don't think he really knew 100% about Cardi and stuff, but he kind of knew that she was involved with that whole thing and everything. So he's basically just throwing all this information.
Desperately trying to get out from under that 47 years is what he's doing.
He pointed out members of the Bloods in the courtroom that were there that day. Literally like said like, you know, that's him. He outed the kingpin of the situation, explained to them how like the street gang and the jail gang shit works and all this stuff. Like he's been telling a lot. Like a lot of people thought it was going to be like a little bit, but he went full out and is like just throwing everything.
So it sounds like he did have some actual knowledge of what was happening.
I mean, yeah, he was involved with it. Yeah, he admitted to putting out a $20K hit on Chief Keef. That ended up being real.
Why is it always other famous people?
Because that's what he was just a fucking troll.
Sounds like this guy was trying to like just use this stuff to get his name out there for his career.
Yeah, basically.
God.
And I'm trying to think what else there was.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But he's told a lot so far, man. Like that's just like from what I can remember off the top of my head. And I don't think like a lot of other big things have like come out, but like they're using his music in this trial and stuff, like his music videos and shit,
like evidence in his lyrics.
Yeah.
Are you mean all that the lyrics themselves or the music videos?
The music, like both the lyrics, the music videos, like everything. Like, did they have real guns here and shit like that? Like he's admitting, that they use real guns.
Didn't that same thing happen with Bobby Shmurda? Like they used his
that's
lyrics.
why he's locked up.
Like he basically
he kind of snitched on himself
to a crime in the lyrics of his song.
He knew about a murder that like was an ongoing
that he shouldn't have known about.
Yeah, and he kind of like hinted at it in the song.
Yeah, we've talked about that before too. That's kind of like it's like a thin line you have to walk, because in a certain sort of like sect of hip hop, the street cred is like all that you have to get you any success, and it's like, well,
and there's more things coming out too. I guess like the other day, like in the trial, there had to be heavy security there because a lot of bloods ended up coming to that trial,
right,
and like kind of sending him a message, just like you're gonna be done, like basically, and which I agree, like if he's
gonna have to get witness protection or something.
That's the new thing that's coming out. Like there are talks of him going into the witness protection.
He's gonna
like,
have to.
Yeah, they would have to. Like they're gonna pay to remove all of his face tattoos.
Anybody in America under the age of 35 can recognize this guy from 100 miles away. He's got rainbow colored hair and 6ix9ine tattooed on his face.
So
although I'd probably cut the hair off. You know?
Yeah. In all honesty, I'd probably go bald or something to like make sure you really don't get recognized.
Just grow a beard, go bald, get that tattoo off of there.
There's a few other things that came out. I guess they released his kidnapping video from when they like kidnapped him one night. Whenever all of this was starting to go down and everything.
Who did?
The 9 Treys. Like
they kidnapped him.
They kidnapped him because like they heard a lot of shit about him.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah,
I remember that. I see the details are coming back to me because we covered this before.
Yes, they released that video that was like in the car. There was like a dash cam going in the car.
Yeah. So what was on that? I haven't seen that.
It was basically just like it was only like 2 minutes of an actual kidnapping and shit. It was just like them telling him to like get the fuck out of their van, like the car that he was in, and get in theirs. Like it was like basically talking like that, and he's like, you can hear him like kind of scared out of his fucking mind, like saying he was like, I didn't know what to do, like I was scared and shit, like nothing really happened and all that shit. And they were just like, nah, we don't care, like let's go, like you're going. And then it showed like apparently he was with his brother or something like in the car, so it showed his brother driving around for like 5 minutes. Then immediately as soon as he found a cop, he told like they like just kidnapped him and all this shit,
right?
And then there was another thing they found out, because when they took him into custody, they found out that they were gonna like probably murder him, because they had like phone conversation, and apparently the person who was saying all this ended up being Jim Jones. That's how this all like correlated and shit. He was the one telling him that he needed to be violated and shit in a very like well-known way and everything, because what he's doing isn't okay.
Like make an example out of him.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, he can't just go to prison pretty much anywhere.
He's gonna die. Like he's gonna die.
Yeah,
like. Yeah. For as much as he's telling, dude, like he has a target on his head like already. Like,
see, here's the thing. For his sake, I hope that he isn't just making shit up that is useless.
Yeah.
Because if they can't use it and they can't if he can't buy himself like witness protection or something, or like some kind of protection deal from the government for this.
Well, I mean, he already outed their whole roster and stuff. Dude. Like when you out,
but are they actually? Is it things they can actually charge him for, or what? Because if it doesn't produce, he is absolutely screwed.
I'm pretty sure, like with everything that he has, like it's some information that could be used, but it's also like we don't know like these dudes, how good these dudes' lawyers are and stuff, because we probably know they have money stacked up and everything.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I mean,
right.
It all depends on a lawyer and shit most of the time.
And if a lot of things, if he is lying about some of it, then and the only thing like holding some of these cases together is his testimony, then they'll be able to probably get some of them off. So.
Yeah, so I mean, he can't be that stupid to just be like throwing random shit out there. That's
I think he's pretty stupid. It seems like he is.
Well, I mean, he's very stupid, but it's like when your life's on the line like that, like you're done. Like, and I mean, like his rap.
He's probably just listening to his
over.
lawyer. He's like, "Look, dude, like you're gonna go to prison for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
so here's your option."
Yeah, well, he's doing all this to get a lighter sentence, and now the possibility, like they're releasing now that he's probably gonna go into witness protection and everything.
He's gonna have to. I mean.
But I mean, dude, this dude is getting what he deserves. In all honesty, like I've been waiting for this to happen in this kid, because I personally did not like. I don't like him whatsoever. I never like his whole troll bullshit.
Right.
Was like I didn't enjoy it whatsoever. I thought it was fucking annoying. Like all the time.
He's just a clown. Like his music's not good.
Yeah,
he's not. I don't take him seriously as.
And then he tried to be like this. Like wannabe like blood gang member and shit, and everyone who was like really knew something about him in the rap game knew that he was a big fake.
He's full of shit.
And now look what happens. And then of course everyone's like saying they were like, well, where like what are you like? What's he supposed to do? Like his gang was gonna kill him and all that shit. And it's like, do you know anything about what goes on with this shit? Like they just used him. Like they didn't give a fuck about him. Like he was a money source for them.
Right.
When you're with people like that, dude, they don't give a fuck. It's the whole morality thing. Like they only know to get money and fuck everything else. Like it is what it is.
Right.
So I mean, like they knew what they were doing with him. They knew a time would come where they have to get rid of him like this.
Maybe.
They kind of just fucked themselves a little bit because they kind of knew he was going to tell. They just got to him too late because he told already when everything was going down.
Right.
So it's like,
so you think they figured from the beginning, all right, we're going to take some money from this dude and eventually we're going to have to smoke him.
yeah. They had to have known how like soft the kid was in the beginning. They had to have known.
Soft
because,
is one thing, but this is to predict this level of an explosion because this is a shit show. Look at the memes.
Yeah.
This is big.
But I mean, like
they could have never predicted how bad this was going to be.
No, probably not. But I mean, I
figured maybe they were just like, oh, this dumbass dude wants to give us a bunch of money to be in his music video, so whatever, sounds good to us.
Like, it's unbelievable.
Taking a bunch of cash just to stand there and look tough on camera is better than selling drugs. It's easier, right?
Yeah, basically. And like fucking dude, like his reputation is done. Like he cannot come back to the rap game probably. Like dude, so many people in rap are like clowning him right now. Just like it's so funny like seeing
it's almost like too easy.
Yeah. Like everyone knew like if you thought people didn't like you in the rap game, like you definitely know now because of how many people were trashing your name and shit just because of who you are.
Well, he's testified against half of them.
Yeah.
So. Cardi B. Like, what did she do?
That one threw me.
Why did they pull her into this?
That one like threw me. I was like, why are you just throwing random people's names under the bus now? I'm like, you're just like...
I love it when she ends up involved with the stories that we do. So she just pops out every once in a while.
She's like, okay.
Hilarious.
I mean, I don't like Cardi B.
I hope she doesn't get in trouble, though.
No, because I don't like her music or anything, but her as a personality, she's funny as hell. Funny. I like.
Yeah, we've talked
really
about
funny.
her extensively.
Yeah.
We're Cardi B fans.
Yeah.
I don't really like her music that much. It's all right.
She's like
it's
a
not
good
the worst
meme
thing.
and shit.
Better than
I mean,
6ix9ine.
Oh, yeah.
But she is funny. I
100%.
enjoy her work.
I like her.
Yeah.
But yeah, 6ix9ine's career is over.
I mean, I'm happy. It's beyond over. It's been over like 6 months, but
I'm happy it's happening to him.
Yeah.
He's getting what he deserved. You play a game that you have no idea what the rules are. This is what happens to you.
Right.
And I'm not even saying because I have no knowledge of gang life or anything whatsoever, but I know enough to know this is going to be bad for you in the long run.
You don't need to know all that much to make the decision to like not do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like poking a bee's nest.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? What do you like? You said, what do you think these guys are going to do? Mm-hmm. Like, do you not have the ability to think like 2 steps ahead? Like, eventually, this might come back to bite me in the ass.
Yeah, and even if he goes into witness protection program, they're probably still going to work hard to figure out like where he went to.
Well, I mean,
there's probably someone in the system that needs about $50,000 in their life, and if they look the other way for a few minutes,
federal witness protection is pretty solid. I mean, it's built exactly to stop that, but
like I said, money talks with people there, man.
Yeah, I know, but like in any case, federal witness protection is this a federal case, by the way, or is it just the state?
It's gang shit, so it's
that's
on the
always
federal
that's
level,
always federal.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
because federal witness protection,
like racketeering and stuff, is gang affiliated shit. Like
it's the best deal he could possibly get.
Yeah.
The best case scenario is that he gets some prison time or something. And, I mean, he's probably gonna. You don't go from 47 years to not going to jail unless you give him like Jimmy Hoffa's body or something.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we don't know. I mean, they could be an exaggerated. That could be his max.
I'm sure it was to scare him. That's probably his max. But I don't know that. I mean, I'm sure we could dig and find it. But yeah, maybe I still think he would probably do some time, but maybe they'll do like time served or something. I don't know, but it depends.
It'll probably be like that. Yeah, he has to be in solitary right now and heavily guarded for everything that's going on.
I think so. Yeah, because if he's in jails in New York, there's bloods everywhere.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like, it's literally we just wait for the new stuff that he's telling in the trial. Like, if you're on Twitter, you're just waiting for something to headline, or it's just going to be the day where we come on Twitter and the trending thing is Tekashi 6ix9ine found dead or something. It's going to be like one of those.
Yeah.
It's going to be like one of those.
I don't want to see that.
I mean, I don't really give a fuck.
I'd like to
way,
continue to laugh about it.
I mean, I would too, but in all honesty, it wouldn't affect me either way.
I mean, it wouldn't really affect my life. I don't know, but here's the thing: I don't even think it has to be like he's got a target on his head. Regardless of whether the people around him are actual blood gang members or not, because like there'd be all kinds of credibility to be gained by being the dude that killed 6ix9ine, because he's such a high profile person and he's a snitch. So like, you'd be the man.
And a lot of, like, I mean, and even if like,
he's just not safe anywhere.
He's not safe at all, because like you said, with how many like gang members are in like penitentiaries up in New York, especially, and everything, dude, like even if they aren't like that set, like
all
a lot
across
of people
the country.
don't like,
I mean, they could send him
snitching.
to Nevada, New Mexico, Washington, Oregon. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like some of those members that are in there right now doing probably like 30+ year sentences because they didn't snitch, and see this motherfucker like who like claimed to be all this shit.
Yeah, right. How would you feel about that?
They're going to be upset about that. They're going to want something to happen to you because, well, their life's over anyway. So it's like, have some fun with it at the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
have some fun.
Have some fun. Start a jail cell fire. Throw an inmate down the steps. I don't know.
Yep.
Have a good time.
6ix9ine.
Snitch 9.
Yeah. The memes are so fucking good.
I love them.
So many funny ones.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing about the situation is the memes that come with it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So in that way, I'm thankful for 6ix9ine.
Yeah. Yeah. He's dealing some good meme content.
That's for sure.
I don't want him back doing what he did before, though. I'm glad he's going to be gone after all this.
Oh, those days are over.
Yeah.
He's not going to be. I mean, what if he like put out an album after this, you know? And what if it was really, really, really fucking good? Because then it's like, damn it. Like,
I don't think that's possible.
I can't, I have to pretend not to like this now because 6ix9ine. Shit.
Yeah, I don't think we have a good chance.
Maybe
of him
he's a man of
releasing
hidden talents.
album.
What if he plays the bagpipes or something? He just releases this ripping fucking bagpipe album. And it's just the best thing ever.
A ripping bagpipe album.
Rippin'.
Yeah, I'm sure the streams are going to be overflowing with that one.
It would be, because people would listen to it just to check it out. 6ix9ine, if he's listening to this, consider that a suggestion. You can have that for free.
God, don't give him life advice. I don't want him to succeed anymore.
I do, because I think it's funny.
I don't.
I don't want him to put people in jail and be meddling, and
I don't want this dude like in the public eye anymore. I just want him gone.
yeah.
I don't like him. Like I'm at that. I really just don't like that dude at all. Like I don't think there's any good things about him until this meme content that's been dropping because of his situation, and his situation's bad. So it's kind of just funny to laugh at. Yeah. Like I like after this whole said and done, I don't want this kid's name to ever be spoken about again by anyone, because I'm sick of the publicity that he gets and everything just because of this. He's not.
I think there are
just
much more destructive things that could be taking up people's attention than the 6ix9ine thing.
I don't know.
I enjoy it. Right. So there you have it. That's it for episode 39 of the Dark Side Podcast.
In the books.
In the books. Cut it, print it, sell it. And don't forget the 3 R's of success. Rate, review, subscribe. Success.
Success is the best.
And
put it to the test.
Don't forget to follow us on all social media outlets.
At Dark Side Podcast.
Yes. Check us out on YouTube.
Yes, we're there.
A very handsome, beautiful video of each week's podcast that we post for you to check out on YouTube. And that's all for this week. Yeah. My name is Matt Elias.
Daviano.
Later.